They know the money is coming to go. So what?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Tony from Tony Television. Usually I don't do videos unless it's something I'm feeling and something I want to talk about, something I want to try to teach a lesson or hope that someone learns some type of education out of. Today we're going to do a video. I would never date a bus driver. TV host Ebony K. Willams. She gets talked to by Iyanla. I hope I did not torture her name. I've seen it quite a few times and I still cannot say the name correctly. But this particular woman says that she will not date a bus driver, and she actually gets taught a lesson from this older, wiser woman. And let's get into it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you haven't liked, you haven't commented, go ahead and do that right now. But go ahead and check this out with me as well. Let's go.
JDs, MD, PhDs. We also are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out-earning men yes, in 22 of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, DC, LA, you name it. When we talk...
Let me stop it right there and let me say something about America, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite hero of all times is Harriet Tubman, because she was a woman who was set free and kept in mind that her men have a disadvantage. So she came back to help men and women. But she understood that no man, black man, could have played that position that she played at that time. She had false papers, I believe, that said she was free. Whatever it was, whenever she got around white men, she would, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, put her head down, maybe show them the paper, yes sir, and they would look at her, you know what, she could be telling the truth, and she goes on her way. Black men doesn't have that privilege in America. So since the beginning of America, because women have asses, they've had a chance to scam, get over on the white man, so to speak, because they have something that he wants. So of course, quite naturally, if the white man runs the show in America, he's going to allow women, black women, to be in a higher position than black men, because obviously we are a threat. But let's keep moving on.
And I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Iyanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age.
I just want to say this real quick. If you're talking about a woman being in her divinity, and if you're talking about a man being in his divinity, then you're talking about a man and a woman together. A man nor a woman cannot be in their divinity without being together, because the proof of that divinity is a child. So to listen to her just go and rant, this is a woman who sounds like she's mad at men. She may have chosen wrong, which all of us have chosen wrong at one time or another, or maybe multiple times. But no one's, besides someone who probably married the first person that they dated and ended up with them for a lifetime, majority of people, that's not our story. So this just sounds like a bitter woman. I'm going to be honest with you here.
And I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum. Trust me, I've done them all. They are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources. And some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
This, once again, this is a black lady. This is also a prime example of the type of black women they like to put in power. They like to put in the type of black women that are going to down black men instead of speaking about the system that kicks out billions of dollars every year to help keep black men incarcerated with felonies on their records, secondary, just a bunch of shit. Even Equifax and Experian, all of them, the credit bureaus recently came out and said that, oh, for years now, we made a mistake on certain groups of people on keeping their credit scores at a certain level. That was a mistake when it should have been higher. Well, who do you think those groups of people were on mistake? I'm here to tell you, more than likely, it was probably black men, leadership roles. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Muhammad Ali, Tupac. They killed them all, okay? Most black men now are at a point where they're scared to take on that role because we've seen throughout history that these black men don't live to get old. These black men mysteriously die young. Whenever they step up and they are very effective, we die young. So the system has managed to kill so many off publicly in front of our face and get away with it so much that now you have new black men coming out saying, hey, I just want to live a long life. So I don't want to try to lead people to the freedom land, promised land. It's funny because, look, Akon is a family member of mine, to be honest. I've been knowing him for like 20 years. And I go to the family's house on Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays and stuff like that. And it's a family environment, okay? And I remember asking him one time, are you still gonna run for president? And he said, in a joking manner, I'm not trying to be the one to get killed. And I was like, what do you mean? Obama's not dead, And he said, well, I'll be shipping all black people back to Africa. I'll be trying to get everybody up out of here to a better place. So he understands. And what I got from that is anytime a black man comes through to try to help black men in particular fight for freedom, Nat Turner, we end up dead. Let's go.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if
a bus
he owns
driver?
the bus? If he owns
No.
it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Okay.
Because the standards...
If he owns the bus. That was her answer. I date a bus driver if he owns the bus. Completely this is the type of woman that will remain single for the rest of her life. Because I'm not going to say I'm not going to say black men don't own buses, but I'll ask even you out there sitting watching this video, how many black men do you know that own buses? Not many. So already, she's limiting herself to the availability of men. What we have here is a classic new age woman who doesn't even understand what a man is. She believes materialism and finances is a man. Finances is a part of a man, and it's such a minute part because if you take finances away and this man doesn't have any money, are we still to say he's not a man, right? You could have the richest man in the world who has all the money, but he has no integrity, no morals, no commitment, never trying to build a family, no truth coming out of his tongue. And then you have a man over here with no money, who has integrity, who lives by a code, who has morals, who helps people around him. He's more of a man than the rich man. But it seems that today's woman, I'm not going to say they don't know this, but they're more attracted to the other man. This is her. Let's move on.
Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that
She just schooled up. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The women need to hear that. They need to hear that. He's good to his mother, man of integrity, treats her well, loves what he's doing. These are the elements, some of the elements that creates a man. A protector, a provider, educator, leader. This is what makes a man. I think in my mind, women know exactly what a man is. Most of them have fathers to look at or uncles. They know what a man is. But I think that their attraction to that is now kind of gone. They want this over here, you know, the guy who's rich probably or has a lot, but doesn't, you know, but the other stuff, I'm not gonna say he doesn't care, but I think with women, as long as he has these things, it doesn't matter if he cares or not, just as long as he has these things. And the funny thing is men don't move like that at all. I mean, at all. We don't care about having a rich friend. We don't care about that. If he's not talking to me the right way, screw him and his money and his mansions and his whatever. If he's not responding to me respectfully, I don't want him around me, we may fight. You know what I mean? Out of disrespect. This is how men are. So, you know, it's crazy to see this grown woman act like she don't really know what a man is.
But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together. I can build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on this.
Building together. Exactly what I said earlier. If you're gonna talk about a woman in her divinity and a man in his divinity, you have to talk about them together. Ain't nothing divine about no lonely ass man. Ain't nothing divine about no lonely ass woman, except for something going on in their ego maybe. But the divinity comes when they get together and they can create a new life form that is both of them combined in order to sustain their culture, theory, life, beliefs, bloodline, whatever it is. That's where the divinity comes into play. Let's move on.
Side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver. So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalance. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved. It's just not working. So it's not that it's bad or wrong.
She's completely right. I mean, it's not much more you can say to that besides she's right. It's not working. All of these women have heard at one time or another from their mother, from their brother, from somebody, a man is gonna be a man. You just gotta let a man be. Either that man is for you or he's not. But to try to change that man or to have standards that you create that man must live up to, that's personal, you know? And I'm not gonna say you shouldn't have standards because we all should have standards, but to have them so high that the average man can't reach those standards, now that's up to you if you end up lonely and die single, right? Because there's a lot of great men out there that don't live up to those standards financially, but they live up to other standards morally, intellectually, spiritually, whatever have you. So if you're gonna block those types of men out because they don't live up to other standards, then that's truly on you. Like I said, if you end up single and alone.
It's obsolete. It's obsolete. We have to come up with a new way of being. I don't believe in carrying a man. A man has to do for himself. My son got his first job when he was 9. 9, okay? Because you're a black man, you will know how to take care of yourself. But I think the way we measure it, it's just obsolete.
I think that's a factual analysis. For whatever we want, expect, we're told we were going to get, we got to look at the numbers and what's available on the marketplace. So you're certainly not wrong in the analysis. And Iyanla, let's tell the truth and shame the devil. We know what you got in that prenup with.
Well, I'm gonna end that right there, and I have something to say to finish this off. It seems that black women of this caliber, okay, because it's not all. Black women of this caliber have forgotten the system, what their black men are up against, the day-to-day, everything that black men must go through in order to do something out here. And that does not mean that we can't do nothing, because I get a lot done. But I also be the first one to tell you, something that may take me a month to get done, I have a white friend, it may take him a week, because when he go and try, like, I'll just throw it out there, a retail store. I just got approved for one today, not sure if I'm gonna take it, but I've been working on a retail store now for like 3 years. And I have great credit and the money to get the store, no problem. But they have stipulations that are specifically set up for black men. And some of those stipulations I just don't meet, or I didn't pass this or that. But my white friend, he's, multiple time felon convicted, more than I am. Of course, I'm one. He got his shit ASAP, you know what I mean? And that's how it's set up a lot in society out here. I always said that if, when you're working a job, your boss is friendly. The white man is cool with you. But if you try to open a business next to his, then you will see the real white in him come out. And I'm using white as a figure of speech because this isn't applied to all white people. This is mainly powerful white people we're talking about here. But you'll see it come out when you try to compete with him as a black man. Meaning you will see the real America when you just try to get equal and just due. As long as you're working for them, they treat you very, very, very nice. But when you try to compete with them, then you're a problem as a black man. And that's not to say that other cultures aren't a problem to them as well, because they don't like the China man, they don't like a bunch of other men, but they don't have laws set against them to get certain things done. And as black men, we never use that as an excuse. We're gonna get through these things and this red tape and these shit that they have out here, these booby traps set for us. But we just need our women to understand what we're up against. We're not up against what the average white man or Asian man or Arab man is up against. It's a lot easier for them to make $1 million in America than it is for a black man. Nobody wants to see a rich black man, even Tyler Perry. That's why he left Hollywood and moved his whole compound out to Atlanta, because he understood that none of these white people out here wanted to see him just as successful as they are, or with a big movie studio just as theirs, to compete on the level that they are competing. They don't want to see that. They'd rather see you work for them. But they don't mind their counterparts owning these facilities that are just as huge as theirs and providing just as many resources as them. And our black women gotta remember that shit. What we gotta fight. And we will get over this. But the question is, will we get over this alone? Or will they be with us when we get over this shit? Anyways, your boy Tony, signing out.
Stand on top like I'm King Kong. Paddle niggas like a ping pong. Run my block like I'm King Von.